Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
When I first got online, couldn't do much, really. But even as, early desktop web browsers advanced and we were using Trumpet WinSock from the Windows 3.11 desktop, long before Windows 95, that's for sure. I remember a couple of utilities that would allow me to connect with other people by way of voice. Just random people from around the world. And I cannot remember the name of the utility. It came with, if I'm not mistaken, it came with Netscape or some kind of utility package. And you would install it, and you could browse people who were online, and then you could talk to them in real time using a regular old 14.4, 28.8 modem. That's all we had. Didn't have 56K at that point. Certainly no broadband available for desktop computers, unless, of course, you were lucky enough to be connected to some kind of school or government network. I remember just being amazed at hearing someone else's voice, never knowing who they were, but, say, hey, so what's going on? It reminded me a lot of the way my grandfather spoke about ham radio and communicating with people from all around the world on a regular basis. He kind of got into it, and so it was the closest feeling I ever had to doing any kind of ham radio. These days, we kind of take voice over IP and these type of webcam communications, especially video, or even audio communications, we take it for granted. I mean, there's some kind of audio feature built into just about every utility these days. I mean, who hasn't at least heard of Skype? If you've been online, no doubt you have, even if you're not a huge fan of Skype. So I've got a question for you, and I realize this may be interesting given the demographics of our audience. And by the way, our audience skews older, male, but I'm curious to know if you remember the first time you communicated with someone either by way of webcam or by way of voice online. I had also done something where, hang on. Oh, sorry, I heard a noise. Speaking of listening to, I thought Wicket the dog was about ready to puke, but apparently he was eating his paw. Not like you guys needed to hear that, but when I used NetMeeting back in the day, and we're talking in the day of Windows 95, Windows 2000, I had that was the first time I had been able to use software to see someone online. So I can't remember the first time. I remember vividly how I talked to someone by voice. I can't remember the name of the utility. I think it came with an earlier version of Netscape. And then I also remember the first time I had a webcam type conversation that was using Microsoft NetMeeting. And even that was a kludge. Like, you had to know their IP address. I mean, it was a little funky. But it worked. It was a kludge, but it worked. In fact, those of you who didn't realize it, back when I was on Tech TV, we used NetMeeting. That's really all we had for simple webcam communications between ourselves, the hosts, and the viewers who were wanting to call by way of some kind of netcam or webcam. We've come a long way, and sometimes it's fun to remember where we were back in the day, if only to give us a bit more perspective, as well as to give us a better appreciation of the VoIP tools that we have at our disposal. So what were your first experiences? Do you remember them fondly? And if you say that you just got online last week, so help me God.